Doop, 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 doop. Yo, how you doing? We're back here again. Double check sound and audio real quick. I think we are good to go. Looks good to me. Sound good, audio good, video good. Cool. Hello. What a day. What up, everybody? How we doing? I know it's been quite the day today. We have now entered in the NFW portion of the pullback, which I'll explain in a little bit here. But yeah, the market's still pulling back. It's become very clear to me. I believe I have this like on lock now. Like I might just be being a little bit toxically confident, but I'm like rather sure. I will tell you guys the bright side of this thing is that we should be getting pretty like, how do I explain this? I'm not going to try to preface it because you're going to want to know exactly what I mean. Just know things are, I think we're in a better spot now than we were a week ago. I'll explain everything in a little bit here. But, you know, look, the friggin' market's pulling back a little bit. Obviously, I know you guys are stressing. Oh, we're stressing and undressing. Not fun. But I just wanted to kind of jump on for you all today. I'm not going to go too deeply into why the market is pulling back. I'll give a brief recap as to why the market is pulling back. What I do want to focus on is exactly what you should be doing right now. That's kind of the whole point. It's like, okay, here's why the market's pulling back as a recap. We did like an hour-long stream yesterday talking about why the market's pulling back, at least in my opinion with my tinfoil hat. I think lizard people control this thing. Anywho, we're going to talk a quick recap as to why the market's pulling back. We're then going to talk about the portion of the pullback that I think we're in right now. Okay. Then we're going to talk about what I'm doing right now as a result of the portion of the pullback we're in. And then we'll do some individual technical analysis. Okay. I do believe that I have this thing kind of like, I think I've got it figured out for the most part. Like what's going on, why it's happening, how to avoid it, all that good stuff. So I will remind you again, yesterday I did an entire stream talking about why stuff like this happens and why you just got to get used to it. Okay. So today, in a few minutes here, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm first going to start off with a little recap, like I said, and then we'll kind of get into it. But before then, going to let these notifications go out and stuff. Going to let these notifications go out. Going to chit chat with a few of you. And what's up, everybody? Why it crashed within one day and takes forever to go upwards. That is the very, very aggravating part about being in crypto. You're going to go through months at a time where nothing happens. You'll have 4 or 5 days to really make money. And then go months at a time where nothing might happen. It's just the name of the game. I am absolutely not going to be twerking today on stream. Let's see. Please no, I don't think that the bull run is ending. I am personally holding, if not buying more. Retail isn't coming like 2020. I would disagree with you, and I can show you that later. Welcome in, everyone. I know a lot of you met me for the first time yesterday in that live stream. Sucks that we have to meet on these terms, but of course, not the worst thing ever. You know, I feel better during times like these than I do when everything's pumping like crazy. And I know that sounds so ridiculous, but the reason being is because it's just like when we're pumping like crazy, I stress like, when's it all going to end? In moments like this, I'm like, oh, great. I can buy a little bit more. Then we're going to get a pump. And then when the pump comes, I'm going to be stressed out. So it's like, you know, yeah, it sucks that we meet on these terms, but hey, you know what follows red days? Enough red days, good days. So I think we're going to have some good days together pretty soon here. And I'm going to kind of go over my entire thesis of what I'm seeing, how I'm feeling, and much more pretty dang on soon. We're going to get started in about a minute and 15 seconds here. So just letting, again, those notifications go out. And I'm going to chit chat with you, everybody. Yep, the NFW is the no effing way zone. That is the portion of this pullback that we're in right now. That's a hard one. If I'm near liquidation and confident that will go up again, should I increase my margin or just sell with 70% loss? It's a hard one. I can't tell you what to do, but personally, as long as it's not a super big risk, as long as it's not a risky play, which it shouldn't be because your plays should be small portions of your portfolio, I'd probably go into it. I'd probably add to it a little bit more. Hello, One Colony. How we doing, homie? How you doing? Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be great. Doge drop. Should I sell Sol? I'm not. Biggest thing to remember is to always have dip funds so you can buy the dip and not dump all your funds at the front end. I could not agree more. As long as it's not the end of the bull market, there's such a good chance we have 20 to 30% recovery quick after this black swan. Haha. Yep. And I wouldn't really call this a black swan. I'm going to show you guys again everything in a little bit here, but I just think this is rather normal. Righty. I took a loan to buy this dip. That is a crazy ass thing to do, Johnny. Wouldn't recommend, but hey, to each their own. I'm feeling good about ADA. It's probably going to get a little ugly, but hey, what do you know? Yeah, got to work on my dip fund. Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Ryan, one of our moderators in here. What is the dip price you reckon? Well, we'll go over that in a little bit. Almost 2x leverage or liquidated. Just another Tuesday in crypto. Yep. All righty, we're going to get started in a second here, guys. Let's get into it. Dang, jassed me so much. Yeah, it's jassed me down a good bit. It's doing okay. I mean, everything's down. Pepe's getting its ass whipped. What is the best place to trap crypto for taxes? You should use, I have a couple recommendations, but I'll go through in a little bit. Will we still have an altcoin season? Yes, I think so. But it won't look how they usually look. Michelle, how we doing? How we doing? I never, ever sell all of my positions. Crypto Crazy, shout out to you. You guys, go make sure you check out the Crypto Weekly Roundtable with him. We'll probably do some stuff pretty soon here. I'm going to look at everything. No worries, no worries. Sorry, good to start. Yeah, I think Super is a good one, definitely. All right. You guys ready? Who's ready? If you guys are, what's up, Colossal? How you doing? If you guys are ready, I'm going to get into a quick recap as to why what we're seeing right now is happening from my tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist perspective. And then we're going to start getting into it, everybody. Let's do it. We ready? We ready? I'm doing okay, test one. I am getting legally married tomorrow, and I am excited and stressed at the same time. In a good way, obviously. Good stress. Not the wedding. The wedding's in March, but our legal marriage is tomorrow. So what better thing to do than celebrate your legal marriage with a goddamn dip? I digress. You know what's funny? Funny enough, I just got to tell you this really quickly before we get started. Give me 2 minutes. So in 2021, could have been 2021. Yeah, 2021. You guys remember when November of 2021, when basically the market just like absolutely got destroyed, like everything went terrible. I was on my very first date with the girl that I'm marrying tomorrow. So I don't know if you guys are recognizing a sign, but anytime we make any type of moves in the relationship, I'll let you know, get the fuck out of crypto because the market's going to dump. But anywho, so with that in mind, jokes aside, weird timing though. With that aside, I guess it's a gift, right? It could be a gift. Every time something good happens, get to buy some crypto cheap. Who cares? But yeah, we're going to get started here. Let's do it. Shout out everybody. All right. Let's rock and roll, baby. Okay, recap. First recap. Why is this going on? You know what? My dog just walked out the room. Let me close my door real quick. Hold on. Okay, why is this dip happening? Now, I am going to, when we get married on our wedding day, I highly advise you to sell all your crypto. Jokes. Don't sue me, please. Why are we dipping? Why is the market pulling back? So, in yesterday's video, remember, I did an 1.5 hour long live stream talking about this yesterday, so I'm not going to get super deep in it today. I don't want to just go down the whole conspiracy theory again. But if I'm going to be very simple and very straight to the point as to why the dip is happening, my genuine belief is that in moments like this, it's a mixture of micro catalysts being boosted or made worse by manipulation. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is that, say a crypto is all the way up here, right? Boom. And as we're starting to kind of teeter a little bit, we get a bad piece of news. In this instance, let's go ahead and say that the Fed did what they did yesterday, which was we saw them cut rates. So we saw them cut rates and also say that there's uncertainty about next year. Okay, so they're not sure what next year is going to look like. No one really is. They might do less rate cuts than they thought they were going to, meaning that there's going to be less overall impact on the risk on assets, quite simply just because, of course, whenever you lower interest rates, it's better for risk on assets like crypto, individual stocks, etc. In a rate interest environment that's going down, where interest rates are going down, it's better for things like crypto. So if they say, well, we don't know if it's really going to be going down, it's not good for crypto. So we got a buy the rumor, sell the news event with the cuts yesterday, and we got uncertainty from what they talked about. That causes a little bit of a pullback. Okay. I don't think people really care what the Fed have to say these days. So I don't believe all of this pullback is caused by this. I think some of it was. Now, on top of that, you have to consider yesterday what we spoke about, and I told you, was that there was also, and I guess what you technically could do, let me do it like this. One other thing that I wanted to mention is that in moments where we were right here, we saw natural profit taking, which caused a little bit of a pullback. Now, in yesterday's video, what I told you is that over the last 4 months, there is a 7 out of 8 times what happened was that as the price of Bitcoin, as its price hit that Fibonacci extension zone to the top side, it pulled back. So it cleared this gold zone, go up to this green to blue box, and drop to the downside. And then if we just do this a couple times, again, I went over all of this yesterday, so feel free to go check it out, right? Let's just do it the other way, actually. Boom. As you can see, green, blue box, pull back. And then we go back right here, the next one. Green, blue box, pullback. So as Bitcoin's price got up towards some of these levels up here, we saw a natural pullback, a pullback from the Fibonacci's and a pullback from the top of this ascending channel. So we had a technical pullback first. So we got up to these levels, we started to pull back. This was a technical pullback. Then you mix in what the Fed says, and that makes it a little bit worse of a pullback. I'm under the belief that in a moment like this, in which the market is casually pulling back a little bit, and there's news to go along with it, the lizard people, or the people who are in control of the market that I make fun of all the time, who are probably going to kidnap you one day, they take advantage of this. I think that the easiest way to hide manipulation is by having news. So in moments in which there is news and the market's already falling, the whales can step in and do their whale shit, their bullshit, and keep this market going down a little bit further to start hunting these liquidation zones that are down here. Because you got to think, the lower the market goes, the more liquidations that'll happen. And so if they get the opportunity to let it go a little bit further, faster, they can liquidate more and more people, which generally will flow all the way back to the top of the market, meaning less retail investors have crypto and more money are in the pockets of the lizard people. So I believe it's a very simple three-step equation. You have natural profit taking plus a catalyst plus manipulation. When you combine these three things together, it causes these liquidation events in which people get liquidated. Very simply, that's my theory. I broke that down for about 40 minutes yesterday. Go check that out if you'd like. So in a moment like this, whenever we see Bitcoin's price start to pull back a little bit, okay, what we first and foremost saw was the natural pullback. Then we saw the Fed news add on to it. And now we see the lizard people get to do lizard people shit. Now, the weird thing about it is that once you hit this portion of the pullback that we're in, this is what starts causing panic. And so on top of what the lizard people are doing, now we're seeing capitulation from both the whales of, ETFs, a little bit of ETF selling today, and retail investors also selling. So by this extra little boost that we get from the whales, now it really continues lower as retail investors start to exit. Then, of course, the market will start to slow down. The whales and the lizard people will re-enter. They'll buy at lower prices. It continues up, and everyone who sold in here loses. That's how this normally goes. I've been in this market for 5 years. This is my third cycle. This is what I've seen every cycle. And so in general, I know that's a little bit tinfoil hat, flat earthy, or whatever you may call it, conspiracy theory, all these things, but I genuinely believe that's what happens in moments like this. Now, the question becomes, what's happening right now? Because quite frankly, all that stuff that we saw yesterday could have really just been an appetizer. And I have to be honest with you guys, where we are in this market right now is about to get really, really interesting. Okay, really interesting. So let's talk about what happens next. So after all of this pullback, that was simply just an attempt to get Bitcoin's price from the top side of this channel to the bottom side of this channel. That's all that really did. Okay, we can, of course, see that the market was pushing upwards and upwards. And actually, the funniest thing is that as we saw Bitcoin's price get up here, I made an exit out of my leverage positions. I told you this also in yesterday's stream. I was like, this just doesn't make sense. As we saw Bitcoin's price hit the top side of a channel, which historically will break to the downside 90% of the time, we saw billions of dollars in long trades opening up. We saw the crypto fear and greed index at all-time highs, and we started to see everybody bullish as if this was not where we were. Like we didn't have a massive point of resistance above us. Not only did we have the top side of this channel, but we also had, again, the Fibonacci retracement zone or extension zone sitting directly above us as well. And so because of that, I made a video 2 nights ago and I said, hey, I'm probably done leverage trading for all of 2024 because I don't like what's happening here. It's weird. What we're seeing right now is just simply weird. Okay. And so because of this, because of that, obviously, some of those weird things that we spoke about ended up capitulating. Bitcoin's price getting us down here as all of those liquidations started happening towards the downside. The question on everybody's mind is this the end of the pullback? I think that's what's on everyone's mind. Could you guys agree? Would you guys agree? Like, is the main thing you have on your mind right now what comes next? I would assume so. And so what I want to talk about, although I don't know what comes next, is what I'm going to be on the lookout for. Because if something specific happens, guys, this may get worse. I'm just going to be honest with you. It might get worse from here. But if this other thing happens, we might be okay for a little bit. But oddly enough, I'd rather number one happen. I would rather this get a little bit worse for a little while longer, all of which will make sense in a little bit. Okay. And so let's kind of shift now that I've given you the basic recap, TLDR, of why we're here and what's happening. Let's talk about what's happening right now. And frankly, guys, if you want to truly know if this is the end of the pullback or not, all you need to do is watch Bitcoin right now. What Bitcoin's price does right now will likely determine whether or not this crash is over or not. The reason that I say that is because Bitcoin is very, very, very much so in control of this market. I mean, you just got to look at Bitcoin dominance. When you have moments in the market in which the market itself is falling, but Bitcoin dominance is absolutely surging, it means that Bitcoin is in control of the market. What you can see here is that not only is it in control of the market, but it's been putting in bullish stuff. Look, I mean, look at this cup and handle pattern here from Bitcoin dominance, which gives it a breakout target back up towards 61%, meaning that, of course, we could see Bitcoin continue to outperform for a little while, meaning Bitcoin is in control of the market. Not only that, though, if we go to something like the altcoin season index, for example, one thing in which you can see is that the altcoin season index is now really falling, and we are no longer technically in altcoin season. We're back at a state of neutrality. Now, this is a lagging indicator. We are back in Bitcoin season, meaning Bitcoin will decide what happens. If Bitcoin goes down, market goes down. If Bitcoin goes up, market goes up. That's where we are, okay? And what you're actually able to do, if you really want to know whether or not this crash is going to continue or not, is watch Bitcoin. Here's why. Bitcoin is now about to try to decide whether or not it is going to lose the bottom side of this ascending channel. Okay, Bitcoin has been in what's considered to be an ascending channel ever since November of this year, right when this real market pump really started to happen. We saw this ascending channel take us all the way from $83,000 all the way up into $107,000, and we're now at the bottom side of it. Now, where we are, okay, is when Bitcoin's price is going to decide, are we going to lose support right here or not? My belief is that everything we've seen over the last few days was to force us down to this place to make this decision. I think everything that we saw over the last 2 days was simply to get us down here to make this decision. Option number one is that Bitcoin's price is going to hold support and bounce back to the upside and further delay what I believe to be an inevitable move to the downside. Now, the only reason I think it's inevitable is because there's an 85% to 80% chance that it does break to the downside. During crypto in general, there is a 90% chance that ascending channels like these break to the downside. During bull markets, that goes down to about 80 to 85%. And what that means for us is that 1 out of 5 times at best, we will see this lead to a breakout upwards. Outside of that, there's really not much of a chance. 4 out of 5 times we break to the downside. Now, it is in my belief that it would be best for crypto if crypto and Bitcoin specifically keep going down. I think it would be best for Bitcoin specifically to break to the downside and get out of this ascending channel. The reason being is because the moment that we break to the downside of it, now we have free range. Now we have, obviously, we're not just going to, absolutely just go straight upwards, I wouldn't imagine, but we have all of this room to start making some moves in either direction, right? We can maybe pull back a little bit, and then it gives us all this room to the upside to actually start a more sustainable bull market. Because quite frankly, guys, this is not sustainable. It's simply not. We shouldn't be able to continue to do this. The reason I say that is because I don't think that in the most bullish portion of the bull market, we're going to continue to see Bitcoin's price have 10% corrections every couple weeks, like every other week. Here. We're not going to be able to continue to do that. Eventually, this will break. There is an option that it breaks upwards, but that would require Bitcoin to absolutely surge to $130,000. Not impossible, but it will be a little bit difficult, okay? It will be a little bit difficult. And you just have to understand that. Not impossible. We've seen these types of things break out upwards before, but it will be difficult. I think it would just be better, quite frankly, if Bitcoin's price breaks to the downside, gets out of this, and enters into a sustainable period in which we can actually start making good long-term sustainable growth upwards. That would be ideal. Now, I'm simply telling you what I hope happens. I'm not telling you what I think is going to happen. What I think is going to happen is what is the most likely option here. The most likely option is that Bitcoin breaks down and that Bitcoin heads towards $94,000. If that is the case, then that means that the altcoins will very likely continue a little bit further. Now, what you have to understand, though, is you shouldn't be betting on that. You shouldn't be betting on that because at the end of the day, you should never, in my opinion, during a bull market, bet against the bulls. It is a bad idea. What do I mean by this? What this means to me is that this very well may continue a little bit further. We might see the pullback happen. But you know what I'm not doing? I'm not shorting. I'm not selling my positions. I'm not doing any of that. Just those two. Those are the two big ones. I'm not shorting, meaning that I'm betting for the market to go down, and I'm not selling my positions in an attempt to re-enter, because both of those things are betting that this market will go down. You remember what I told you in that video 2 days ago? Moments like these are when shit that does not make sense happens all the time. What I mean by that is this market very well might just rocket up to 100. Bitcoin just might rocket up to 130K out of nowhere. Things like that happen in moments like this. And so my strategy is that even though it is more likely that this market does pull back a little bit here, I'm not going to bet against the market. I'm simply just going to go with the flow. My strategy is that if it is going to continue lower, I'm just going to set some buy orders and I'm going to be prepared to purchase, because if it does continue lower, that will open the door for long-term sustainable growth, which will allow for these prices to reset, cool down, finish the pullback on a macro perspective, and then open the door to go upwards in the future. And so there's no need right now to force it like, oh, I'm going to short the market because I'm pissed. No. Or I'm going to sell all of my Bitcoin and try to buy it back at 94K. What if it only goes to 95K? And then it goes to 120K. And then you get screwed. Realistically, that's what happens, right? And you let the lizard people win. There's no point in doing that. So in my opinion, the best thing to do right now is to sit back, wait, and watch. If Bitcoin's price does decide to go up, okay? Hold on. If Bitcoin decides to go up, I won't be mad about it, but I'm not going to be all that happy, to be honest, because this market has now shown us the moment we lost key support levels, it showed us this is bigger than we thought, right? Or just bigger than we, guessed, right? And so if we do see Bitcoin's price start pushing upwards, I won't be mad about it, because again, there is that slight chance that Bitcoin just rockets out of this thing. And maybe that opens the door to it. Maybe it does happen. Maybe we do see that pump as we get closer to Trump's inauguration. Maybe some good piece of news does come out. Maybe something does happen that allows this to happen. I'm not going to be mad about it. I kind of just hope that doesn't happen, to be honest with you guys. Because my theory here is that if we can lose this support and come lower, it would be a good thing. It can get all the pressure off of Bitcoin's price right here, because it's pressure, guys. It's hard to do this. It's hard to trend upwards like this. And this puts a lot of pressure on the price. And what I'd like to do is see its price come back down a little bit and allow that pressure to be alleviated and open up a door to where we can just do what we want. If we want to go sideways for a few weeks and then pump, cool. If we want to go down a little bit, recover, then pump, cool. We can kind of have whatever decision we want in our own hands rather than being in this and being forced upwards. Because the moment that we do pull out, it's going to be violent. It'll be just like this. And the sucky part about it is that even if Bitcoin's price does rocket out of this thing, the likelihood, history says, that after a breakout or a melt up, a violent correction happens. So what this means to me is that even if Bitcoin's price does recover here, something violent is going to happen anyway. I just don't really want to be a part of that. And so that's why I'm in a spot. You know, someone asked me earlier, they were like, Tyler, are you freaking out? I was like, no. I'm not freaking out at all. The reason being is because of what Bitcoin's doing right now. If it just keeps doing it a little bit, this will actually be good for crypto. This will allow for all of those big indicators that we've been hoping for to reset. It will allow them to reset, and it'll put the market in a spot to where it can sustainably grow. Do you guys want this bull market to last into the end of next year? I do. I don't know if it's going to, but I do. And moments like this can allow for that, because you need resets for pumps. Simple. If you want long-term sustainable growth, it's a staircase. Simple. What that means is that if you want this market, boom, let's do this. Boom. If you want crypto from right now, point A, to get to point B in 1 year, it's going to need to look like this or like this. This is what it needs to look like. If you want to just get stupidly rich in 1 month and then go through a bear market for 3 years, it will look like this. Much faster, much more upwards, and much, much longer of bear market. I don't want this. And if we do see this market, guys, do this. That is what we are preparing for. I believe that if we rocket out of this ascending channel, we are going to have to prepare for a short bull market. I don't really want that. So I'm not freaking out because I want it to come back down. I want the pullback, because you remember the slingshot theory? Crypto is like a slingshot. For long-term sustainable growth, it's going to look like this. It's going to pull back. You need to just let go, and then it can go forward. And it's going to pull back. You got to let go. It'll go forward. The end of the bull market won't look like that. The end of the market is that it's going to go up, 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 up. You're going to pull back and it's going to break and everything's going to break. So in a moment like this, let it pull back, let go a little bit. And I believe that we'll find some support and we'll continue upwards. And I think we'll be in a good spot. So the general question that, everyone has is it over? Right. And that's the whole point. I know I kind of went on a tangent here, but with the question that you all have is this over? Is the pullback over? Frankly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It only matters if you have leveraged positions, which, again, I tried to warn everyone that I was getting out of my leveraged positions. But in general, for the bull market, it doesn't matter. If this support holds, we have a decent sized chance at seeing the bull market continue on, Bitcoin pump a little bit, maybe go parabolic. Cool, great. The market's probably going to end soon. If Bitcoin's price pulls back a little bit, then we'll lose that ascending support, and then we'll be in a very good spot to see the bulls be able to step in, maintain some macro support levels, all the indicators reset, and then we can see growth for a longer period of time. So why would I actually be scared of the market pulling back? That's why I'm not freaking out. Somebody said in the server earlier, they're like, Tyler, are you freaking out? I'm like, no, I hope this keeps going. Or something along those lines. It was in, I think, the executive chat. Because of things like that. So this is my thesis, and this is what we're doing. And so all of that to say, I'm kind of just rambling here. I'm giving you word soup here. But all I'm saying is it's just going to come down to this. The next step for this crypto market comes down to this right here. It's either going to maintain support or it's not going to maintain support. I know that's obvious. I know it's a 50-50. It's obvious. But it's what it comes down to. So if you really want to know whether the crash is over or not, watch this. Just watch this. Be careful, though, because there's a chance that we may bounce, come back down, and then continue. And quite frankly, guys, I hope this happens. I hope we come down. I'll buy a little bit, then I'll buy a lot more, and I'll buy a lot more. And I'll start heavily dollar cost averaging the profits I was taking at the top side back into some of my players that I think will do well over the long term. So whether it does or doesn't happen, I don't care, to be honest. If we bounce and we go up, cool. I'm going to make more profit, going to make more money. The YouTube channel is going to grow. Everything will be cool. Cool. But if it falls, and it's not going to last super long, I don't think. If the market goes down, though, now we got an opportunity to make some real long-term gains, which usually can turn into wealth. That's what I want. So that's what you need to watch. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the chat for a second. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything that I just said. And then we'll kind of move forward into the next piece, which is what are the signs showing? Now that we have seen this pullback, are those macro indicators resetting? Are all of the resets that we're looking to happen happening yet? Because that'll tell us what's likely to happen right now or soon. Because the question I have is, are we going to bounce here or maybe here? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And we'll go into some indicators and charts after we open up for a Q&A for a quick little few minutes. And I'm going to go throw on the ceiling fan because it's getting hot, baby. All right. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Let's see. Yo, Tyler, how we doing? How we doing, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome in. Brown pill is hilarious. Okay. All right. Not the scariest dump I've been through. Me neither. Why the fear-mongering video title? The crash just got worse. I feel like that's about as straightforward as it gets. We crashed, then we crashed more, so it got worse. I don't know. Okay. Maybe I'm tripping. Let's see. You're not selling because you bought a lot earlier during the bear. What do you think for people that recently entered? Wouldn't it be better to sell everything and go back in at the new low? What if the new low doesn't happen? What if you're wrong? That's what you're not understanding. What if you're wrong? What if Bitcoin bounces right now and goes back up and you sold everything? Wouldn't it be smarter if you just entered into the bull market? Just my thoughts. If you just entered to dollar cost average down, so that worst case scenario, you lose a little bit more, then eventually it goes up and you make money. In comparison to, you take the risk of selling everything and it doesn't go back down and you miss the bull market gains. You see the difference? Because quite frankly, if you have a long-term belief that crypto will go up in the long term, selling right now only risks you don't get to be a part of that. Because if you just hold and buy a little bit more, You're guaranteeing that you get to be a part of that. The risk versus reward of selling right now is not good enough, in my opinion. Now, if we were at 150K, sell, get out. I don't care. Right now, it doesn't make sense to me. That's just my thoughts, at least. All right. The concern is how 1 week of Bitcoin falling can wipe out weeks of gains for alts. Alts getting killed this week regardless of whether Bitcoin goes up, down, or sideways. It's because we're not in the altcoin season yet. You remember I made a video and I said something along the lines of, hey, this is not altcoin season. I can't remember what the title is. I'm sorry, but maybe someone can remind me. I said something like, hey, this isn't altcoin season yet. Bitcoin is still in control. We might be in a bit of a change of tide, but we're still in Bitcoin season. And you just got to understand that this is going to continue to happen until we're not in Bitcoin season. We're still in it. It's okay, though. The longer you're in Bitcoin season, the longer the bull market lasts. So good. Let it be there. It's okay. It's okay. You just got to trust it. All right. Okay. Low six-figure wallet. What would be a maximum number of distant coins I have? I have 18, too many. That's a good number. I think low six figs, I'm thinking 15 to 20 is a good number. If you have leverage positions, you are screwed. You will get wiped out and pullbacks. As long as you are not using margin accounts, you can just wait for the market to go green again. It means nothing. Or you can just use low leverage. I'm a firm believer that 95% of your portfolio should be low leverage or spot trades. Okay. You can use 5% on higher leverage and margin trades. If you lose that whole 5%, oh well. Your 90 to 95% of your portfolio will recover it. You'll be fine. I use leverage trades and margin trades as a supplement to my macro portfolio, not a possible detriment. Simple. Because if you have this big old bag of Bitcoin that you bought at 10K and you're risking all those gains every day on leverage trades, you're just being insane, in my opinion. You're just being insane. Let's see. You were wrong about ADA all the time and delete all your old videos. Okay. That's a good one. How about you go check the last ADA video? That'd be a good start. Okay, here we go. I'm not afraid of the market pulling back. I'm afraid of having no more money to buy more. I feel that. All right. Yep, Giant Arts, we heard you, champ. We heard you. Okay. Hey, Tyler, during these dips resets, do you ever sell off if your losses hit a certain percentage of your holdings or just hang tight? DCA, I basically never sell at losses unless it's a micro cap, to be honest. Because I just believe, at least during bull markets, because to me, it's like a rising tide will raise all ships. I'm a firm believer in that. And so in my opinion, I think everything of value will eventually go up in price. So I just don't sell. The only time I ever really do is, for example, like, if I had been holding something for a long time and it's not done anything, and I see another thing that I think could do really well, I might take some of it out of that old one and put it in a new one. For example, I took a little bit of my Caspa money and I put it into SUI a few months ago because Caspa slowed down. SUI seemed like it was picking up, and that turned out to be a good thing. But I still have my Caspa. Why? Because I believe Caspa will eventually go off. Imagine if you sold all of your XRP at 50 cents to buy Solana at $200. XRP hadn't been doing anything. It was probably at a loss if you bought it at any point, really. But next thing you know, he goes up. So I don't really sell because, in my opinion, price performance is not indicative of value. ADA, XRP are two good examples of companies that have value, but their price performance were not up to par with the value that they provided until they were put under the right circumstances. You get what I mean? I hope that helps. We're going to get into a little bit more pretty soon here. Shout out to you. Absolutely, homie. Do you still have hope on PEPE bouncing back? Yeah, in the future. Not right now. It definitely just lost a major level of support. One I didn't want to see get lost. So it might get a little ugly. I made a video about it earlier. But we'll go over it. All right. What if one okay? It might be. It might be, guys. It might freaking be. I don't think so, but it might be. And you know what? Welcome to the shit show. I didn't think that 71K was the top in 2021, and it was. And you know what I did? Just relaxed. Took a little profit off the table in the bounces, bought the dips, bought along the bottom, educated myself, built a company in the meantime, and then when the bull market came, made money. The worst thing that'll happen here is that the bull market just ended. It's the worst thing that'll happen. You know what that means? It means that you are about to enter into a period in which you have the opportunity to buy at generational lows. Lows we'll probably never see again. That's what's next. So who cares? You know what I mean? Absolutely. Shout out to you. All right. In about 1 minute, we're going to get into a little bit more content. Okay. I will tell you this, though. I will tell you this. If you sell all your crypto right, I'm not going to tell you not to because I can't do that. Legally, I'll get in shit for it. If you sell all of your crypto, you will probably regret it. Maybe you time it. Maybe you just timed the top very good and you sold right after the top of the bull market. Congratulations. Maybe that's the case. I think what's more likely is that you will heavily regret it. Just putting that out there. It's still bullish. It's still bullish. Yesterday, what we were talking about was the fact that the pullback was a good thing because we're starting to see our macro indicators resetting. All I'm saying is, while it's still resetting, which is a good thing, I hope it goes a little further. I hope it goes a little further because what we're about to go over is the fact that this pullback has allowed for our indicators to reset. What we're seeing right now is bullish. It is a good thing. It's something I want to see. I'm very happy about it, but I just hope it goes a little further. That's all I'm saying because we lost those key support levels from yesterday. So now we're stuck in this shit anyway. So if that is the case, I would rather just go a little bit further to allow for those indicators to reset even more so that when the eventual bounce does happen, we can bounce harder, faster, better, stronger, and more sustainably. That's what I'm hoping for. But this is bullish. It's a good thing. I'll explain it in a little bit though. Is ADA done for it? Listen, everyone who keeps asking if a crypto in the top 20 is done, PEPE, Solana, SUI, ADA, the answer is no. The answer is no. Okay? Simple as that. The answer is no. I don't care which one you give me. The answer is no. Bitcoin going from 108K to 100K doesn't end all of crypto. Okay? You just got to relax. It's the best thing you can do. Okay, here we go. Let's go into the next thing. So just like our homie just said, talking, where is that at? Hold on. Bradley Scott. ADA was never good to begin with. All right, anyway. I bet this guy's okay. I'm not selling shit right now. I'm not selling anything. I sold a lot. I took a lot of profits along the way up. I don't sell on red days. Why would I? I just sold on good days. Why would I sell at lower prices? It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense to me. And I tell you, you guys know I'll tell you when I start selling stuff. But anyway, okay, let's get into it. Okay, let's take a look at it. So as I mentioned before, what we are seeing is a good thing in the long term. In order to get from point A to point B from a long-term sustainable perspective, you need pullbacks. You need these moments. But what you really, really need during these pullbacks are your indicators to reset. That is a signal that your bulls have had enough time to relax, your bears have had enough time to win, and that you're preparing yourself for an easier move to the upside. Not a guaranteed move to the upside, but an easier move to the upside. So what we need to look for, now understanding why this pullback is happening, why I kind of want it to go a little bit lower, let's talk about why what we are seeing is actually a good thing. And if it does go lower, it could be even better. Okay, let's get into it. So first and foremost, let's just start. And I don't know who is calling me. Give me one sec. Make sure it's nothing too important. No, we're good. Okay. So what we're going to first start off, let's start off with our RSI. Again, we're only going to really focus on Bitcoin while looking at all this because Bitcoin's all that matters right now. Bitcoin is about to decide. I do individual analysis on SUI, Solana, XRP, and all that stuff because they can give me good indication of where I can be doing dollar cost averages, purchases, and whatever. But Bitcoin is the decider right now. Bitcoin is the decider right now. So first and foremost, 4-hour RSI. What is this bad boy up to? What we can see is that the 4-hour RSI is currently sat right here. Let's go ahead and make that line a little bit bigger. Boom. At the same level that we were at right here, here, there. Okay, let's go look at the last few times Bitcoin's 4-hour RSI was here. So the last time it was here, we were right there, at the bottom, near the bottom. So historically speaking, from the 4-hour perspective, what we've at least seen for the last couple months during this bull market is that where the 4-hour RSI is at right now is either at or near the bottom. That's a good sign. That means that we're getting the macro reset that's needed during a pullback like this to actually be able to generate gains in the long term. If we go up to our daily RSI, what we can see. Boom. Okay. As you can see here, Let's see what's happening on the daily RSI. The daily RSI is now nearly back at the 50% threshold. Let's take a look at the last few times we hit the 50% threshold. That was here. That was when we came down to it right there. That would have been, let's see, here, here, and there. So what you can see here is that the 50% threshold sometimes is the bottom and sometimes it isn't. But the picture is actually bigger than that. The picture says that if we are in a short-term pullback, this is going to be where the bottom is going to be. But if this is not where the bottom is, and it does continue lower, like we saw there, and not there so much, but a little bit, somewhere around there, that we may go lower. This supports my theory that if we see Bitcoin's price hold here, this was a short-term capitulation, and we're probably going to see a short-term bounce to the upside. But it supports my theory as well that if this ascending channel is lost, a more macro correction to the downside could be on the way in order to see these indicators such as the daily RSI fully reset back to its levels, which could look like Bitcoin falling anywhere from $91,000 to $82,000. So again, this is why this level is so important. This is going to decide whether we get the short-term bounce or the more macro pullback towards these lower levels. Either one of which I'm fine with, but I hope this happens. I prefer this to happen because this would allow for a full reset. This would allow for this daily RSI to come back towards the oversold region. And you know, the last time that we were in the oversold region was when Bitcoin was right around roughly $50,000 right before we pumped. So that's why I would rather it come back. Let it come back down. Let's just get out of this. Let's just get the hell out of this ascending channel, come back down here and open up that door to where we can reset and then open the door to go further, faster, longer, more sustainably. Okay. So that's where we're at on the daily RSI. Let's kind of see what's going on that MACD. On the MACD, what we can see is that it did just get the bearish cross. Not a good sign, guys. Going to be honest with you. The good thing about it is, though, that we had already seen it already. We had just started to get a little intertwinement. Generally speaking, when Bitcoin does this, it does continue a little bit further. So what we can see here is that in a moment like this, when we got that cross, we continued down. Prior to that, the last time would have been, way back here. So we continued further, further, and further. So the last few times over the last couple years that we have seen a bearish cross like this as the MACD was pulling downwards, we did see the market continue to fall a little bit. That supports my theory that it's more likely that Bitcoin's price does pull down towards these levels. It is more likely, but remember, it's not scary. It's a good thing. And so in a moment like this, that supports the theory even more that we may continue even further downwards. We look at something like the Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands currently just lost the 20 simple moving average. History says that if you get a daily close below the 20 simple moving average, you will usually interact with the bottom side of your Bollinger Band envelope. What you can see here is that if Bitcoin does that, that means it's coming back down towards $93,000 or so, which is right back in that range that I just told you about, that red box. What does that mean? This increases the chances that Bitcoin's price pulls back to the downside. Do you guys get the picture that I'm painting? When Bitcoin does the things that it's doing right now, it usually implies that the finishing of the move, the rest of the move is likely going to continue downwards. But once we hit those levels to the downside, everything is reset to the point in which we can then start trying to go upwards. So what does that mean to me? I think the most likely scenario here is based off of our indicators is that Bitcoin continues a little bit lower, breaks towards the downside, and starts trying to find a more macro higher low to then be able to try to continue upwards over the long term. That's a good thing. It's not a scary thing. The only caveat to that, though, that I have to remind you, and I'm going to keep saying it because I feel like you guys may not be listening. Just because it's the most likely outcome doesn't mean it's what you should bet on. It doesn't mean you should. Maybe the best thing to do right now is don't bet on shit. Because in moments like this, where you feel how you feel, which is uncertain, a little bit worried, a little bit scared, is the moments in which you can most easily be manipulated. And in moments like this, when everything says it's supposed to go down, you know what might just happen? This motherfucker goes straight to $130,000. It happens all the time. During periods like this, it is the worst thing. The worst thing to do is to bet against the bulls. Because we're in a bull market and you're scared. So if you bet against the bulls in a bull market when there's fear, you're probably going to lose. So this is another prime example of why I'm not trading right now. Guys, the video that I made, look, when was this? Hold on. Let's go look at this. 1 second. Where did I put this? Let's see. Tyler Hill investing. Look at this. The video that I made was, where was it at? One sec. 1 day ago, a day and 8 hours ago. Okay. I am probably done trading crypto for the rest of 2024. Here's why. And I told you, shit looks weird and I don't like it. I feel like the odds are stacking against me right now. I feel like my win ratio is going to go down. I don't want to be a part of this. So in a moment like this, where Bitcoin, it looks like it's supposed to go down, but we know how easily this market can be manipulated. And the only way to win is to bet against the market. I wouldn't do that. Hell no. Hell no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't bet against the market ever. Not during a bull market. No chance. That's why I never short during bull markets. Have you guys noticed I never short? I haven't opened a short trade in 7 months. I won't do it because it's just the easy way to lose. I don't like that. I'm not betting against the macro trend. It doesn't make sense. And so because of that, again, what I'm doing right now is just watching. I have buy orders set in around 91 to 93K, and I'm just going to let it do what it's going to do. If it bounces, all of the positions that I hold right now are going to do good. Cool. If it goes down, I'm going to buy more. My average cost is going to go down. I think eventually it'll find some higher low support and it'll continue upwards. Good. This is a good thing. This is an okay thing. You get what I mean? So that's where we're at. Okay. From that perspective, we're getting very good signs from this. So on coinglass.com, we are getting some very, very good signs. What I mean by that is we are seeing a heavy, heavy shift. Now, do you guys remember a couple days ago? Let me show you. Hold on. See if I can get this pulled up. Oh, they're going to play an ad. Oh, my goodness. Imagine playing free ads. Not fun. Here we go. You remember when I showed you guys the liquidation map? Where's it at? Hold on. Give me a second. You remember when I showed you the liquidation map? And I told you there were a substantially higher amount of liquidations that'll happen if this market goes down. And I'm worried that the whales are going to start trying to hunt those liquidations. It happened. Exactly what we were talking about is what happened. What you can see here is that on the 1 day, the 7 day, and now the 30 day, almost, I believe we're getting close. Yeah, almost there. We are seeing a substantially higher amount of liquidations that will happen if this market goes up. If you don't know what you're looking at, let me remind you. This red line is Bitcoin's price. Anything to the right side of it are liquidations that will happen if the market goes up. Anything to the left side of this are liquidations that will happen if the market goes down. And do you see how all of the people who were betting that the market was going to go up, going long on leverage at the top of a freaking ascending channel, which is insane to do, everyone got liquidated. Everyone to the downside here got liquidated on the 7 day. Look at the 1 day. Look how absurd this is. So many, so tiny liquidations down here. But look what's happening. Look what's happening. You remember I told you about 5 minutes ago, at least 35 times in a row, that I would never bet against the market during a bull market? You know what people are doing right now? They're betting against the market. Look what's happening. Look at the amount of liquidations that will happen if Bitcoin goes to $102,000. That's about $1 billion. $1 billion with a B worth of dollars will be liquidated if Bitcoin goes back to 102. 7 day. Look at this. If we see Bitcoin's price push back up to $105,000, guys, we're talking nearly $3 billion will be liquidated. People are betting against the market. People are giving up. People are losing hope. And we are in the NFW range. Okay. Now, there is something when crypto starts dipping called the NFW range. I'm about to say something very vulgar. Warning you now. If anyone's listening who shouldn't be, cover their ears. But we're in the no fucking way range. Okay. There becomes a point after the crypto dips where you say no fucking way. And that's where we're at. Have you felt that today? Let me know in the chat. Have you felt that today where you're like, no fucking way, dude? Let me know. Let me show you what that looks like. The NFW range looks like this. Crypto pulls back and it finds a support zone and it bounces up a little bit and things start feeling good. Then it dips again. And this is annoying, but we're like, okay, it's fine, right? We're getting a little ABC correction. Cool, no problem, right? Then the price starts going up again. And we're like, oh, we're in a good spot. Like, man, the market's going to start going up. Then it pulls back and we're like, okay, now I'm starting to get a little mad, right? And then we see it start to do this and we get a V-shaped recovery. And we're like, oh, we're good. Then it drops again. And this point, you're like, no fucking way. No way. And your revenge trade's all lost. And you're like, no way. You ever played 2K or a video game and you lose and lose and lose? Or maybe it's a blackjack, right? Maybe you're on the blackjack table and dude, You lose, then you lose again. You're like, all right, I'm fine. I'm emotionally stable. And then you pull a 20 on the blackjack table, a 10-10, deuce-deuce. We're good, right? And then they get a 5, and you're like, don't do this to me. Then they get a 6, and you're like, don't do this to me. And then they get what? A 4, and you're like, all right, we're good. Then they hit a 7, and they get a 21, and you get a 20. You're like, no fucking way. That's where we are right now. And in moments like this is when people quit. They either quit, they sell all their bags and leave, which they will regret, or they start shorting the market and end up getting wrecked. Because you remember how I told you the whales want to liquidate as many people as possible? What do you think is going to happen to all these people who are going to get liquidated? You think it's hard for this market to go back up to $102,000 in one day? How hard do you think it can be? They want you to be in the NFW range. Okay. If that was 22, I'm sorry. Mind your business. No, I said a 6, a 5, a 4. That's a 22. You get the point. You get the damn point. 21 to 20, you lose. Anywho, do you remember how I told you again that liquidations will happen to the downside because they want to pull as much of your liquidity out as they possibly can? I want you to think about something. They will force you into the NFW range because they want you to start shorting. They want you to either sell your crypto to them at better prices, or they want you to start shorting. Because all they have to do in order for all these liquidations to happen when you start shorting is just stop their bullshit. And then the market recovers because we're in a macro uptrend. And then next thing you know, everyone gets liquidated. So you were long, you lost because the market goes down. You start revenge trading, you go short, you can get liquidated right above this, and they just stop their bullshit. And the market goes back up and you lost again. You gotta see this. I can't be the only one who sees this. It's just obvious as day. So you see all these liquidations right here, right? You see all this. These people are going to lose at some point. I am so sure of it. And this is what we want to see. For those of you who are bullish, right? For those of you who are bullish, this is what we want to see. At the same time, while we are seeing all of our indicators resetting, you want to see people betting against the bull market because this is what opens the door for us to go upward. So you know what I would be doing? Not a bad time to start buying. Not a bad time to start buying because I told you I'm not trading right now. I never told you I wasn't spot buying. There's a difference. Tyler, what's the difference? Spot buys are purchases that you do into things that you believe have intrinsic value. Okay. If you genuinely believe that something like Bitcoin is going to go up over time, you put it into a dollar cost average bag, a spot bag. That's your bag of goodies. You leave that shit alone. Trading is when you believe that something has an intrinsic reason to go up in price, whether that's a swing trade. A long-term swing trade may seem the same as a spot buy, but in my brain, they're not the same. I invest into things based off their intrinsic value. That's a spot buy. That's a dollar cost average buy. That's a DCA bag. A leveraged buy, a trade, a play, things of this nature, that's because intrinsically, I think there's a reason, which means internally there's a reason something's going on, maybe externally, I suppose, as well, which is price may go up, okay? And so because of these things right now, what I'm doing some spot buying. I'm buying a little bit of crypto right now, just over and over and over again. You know why? Because everyone's betting that I'm wrong. And I'm like, screw you, I'm not wrong. And we'll see who's right. I never bet against the trend. Never, ever. If we're in a bull market, until something tells me we're not in a bull market, I think that we're in a bull market. You know what a bull market means? It means the prices go up. So the question that I have for you is, do you think the bull market's over? I don't. So if everyone's betting that the bull market's over, I'm going to bet that it's not. So I'm going to buy a little bit. It's simple as that. And so that's what I'm doing. So I bought a little bit of Bitcoin while we were on stream. I actually just sent a message out to the team telling them to start buying. And they actually just started picking up some Bitcoin right now, which, yeah, we're getting that pullback. Now, listen, I know someone's going to say, well, dude, it's going to go down. Like we said, it might go to 91K. I don't give a shit. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. I don't care. You just have to be okay with it. Stop looking at the money you invest into crypto as things you could have bought. Right? Someone will put $40 into Bitcoin. It goes down to $30. And I'm like, damn, I lost $10. I could have bought a Wendy's meal. Who cares? Use only money you don't care about. So that when it goes down, who cares? Give it time. It's not going to be down forever. Just relax. Right? And so, yeah, I know my team at least just put 3 or 4K in. It's fine. If it goes down, it goes down. But if we come back towards these levels, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy more, and I'll buy more, and I'll buy more, because I don't think the bull market's over. What you have to understand also is I am reinvesting some of the profits that I took as we hit the tops. So a lot of what I'm reinvesting isn't initial. I am fully initialed out. The initial investment that I originally put into Bitcoin during the bear market, I have taken out already. So I'm taking a little bit back and putting it back in because everyone thinks the bull market's over and I don't. That's my strategy. That's my strategy. That's the way that I play this. Okay? That's the way I play this. And so because I'm seeing things like this, I'm buying. We go to Visual Screener. This is a good one. Coinglass.com/pro. I am not an affiliate of theirs, but I do use this every day. If we do use something called the Visual Screener, look at this. This tells you what people are doing. 24 hours. You guys see that? Everyone closing. Everyone. Okay, how do I explain that? I almost said closing their shorts. That's not true. These are the amount of people who are closing their short trades. These are the amount of people who are entering long trades. These are both bullish, which is why they're green. Every crypto, for the most part, is now red, meaning most cryptos, people are closing down their long trades and entering into short trades. Everyone is selling. Everyone is panicking. Everyone's getting out and everyone is shorting. Why? Because they think the bull market's over. I don't. It's not that damn complicated. I just don't. And I want you to understand maybe one thing that I should say, guys, I might be wrong. Let me just at least say that. I might be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. And I'm putting my neck on the line because if I am wrong, y'all are going to eat me up for a few years. But it's fine. I don't think it's over. I'm a YouTuber who can stand on shit. If I don't think it's over, I'll just tell you I don't think it's over. If I'm wrong, I'm a man. I accept responsibility. I'm going to lose 6 figures in terms of portfolio size. I ain't selling it at a loss, so I don't lose it. But I'm going to see couple 6 figures drop, and it is what it is. I might be wrong. I just don't think I'm wrong. So because of that, the way that I see this is it's a good time to start doing some spot buys. Do not leverage trade in this, is my honest opinion. Spot purchases, fantastic. Look at the RSI, guys. Look at this. Let me show you this. It shouldn't be long before the lizard people try to shut us down here. So look at this. The red line indicates how far it's gone over the last 24 hours. Everything just nosedived into the weaker oversold region on the 24-hour RSI heat map, except for like Bitcoin and a few. These are kind of levitating. The whole altcoin market just dived into the weaker oversold zone. You know, the last time we were here was this summer before we saw all these cryptos go up hundreds of percentages. Look at this. 24-hour, even the 1 week. The 1 week's back at neutral. You know how rare it is to get a point of neutrality during a bull market? You don't really see it. You don't really see it. It doesn't really happen all that much. Bullish. Sure, some of these are still up there. XRP is still up there. HBAR, Bitcoin, Sweet, Ondo, TRX, XLM, they're up there. But dude, you're seeing some of these things. Where's Caspa at? I know Caspa's ass is around here somewhere. I can't find it. I don't see it. I need glasses. I don't have any. But I know it's somewhere down here. They're not performing that good. You don't see things like these often. So no, I'm not telling people to go out and just look. Hey, honestly, I'm about to celebrate a little bit. But we'll look at this in a little bit here. My theory, now's the time. I was doing little purchases on the way down. Like I told you, I'm going to do some little buys on the way down. Okay. I'm going to do some little buys on the way down. No time for little buys no more. I'm going from little buys to medium-sized buys. And I tell you what, we see Bitcoin fall back into 80 to 80,000. I'm doing big buys. We see that bad boy fall below 82,000 to 73,000. I'm doing some big ass purchases. And it just is what it is. And quite frankly, if I bought the top, oh, well, I just don't think I did. So that's my strategy. The lower we go, the bigger I buy. And I'm starting now. So I'm back. So that's where we're at. Okay. It seems to me like Bitcoin might have just broke out. Okay. What you have to understand is you can't trust this shit. At any given point, it might just send it back upwards. But if we do see the daily candle close below this descending channel, what we're looking for is Bitcoin's price to come back between 94,000 and 91,000. I want to see what happens here. What happens here will determine to me how far we go. it's hard for me to envision that Bitcoin's going to go much further than this without some sort of bump, maybe even just a back test and then maybe something like that. And the reason I say it is because of what we are seeing here, right? Like liquidation map. It's unusual for Bitcoin to really push very far down with this type of liquidation map. The only thing is that the 30-day is still heavily weighted. We need to see Bitcoin's price head below 90,500 to get this final liquidation happening. And that tells me that once we get down here, that should be the end of the liquidations in the short term. Once all the liquidations happen, usually the door to the upside starts to open, at least for a bounce. Then maybe it comes back down, consolidate, whatever, wick, blah, 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 boom, 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 right? Something like that. So my guess is that if we do continue, I'm looking for this 90 to 91,000, 90, 91K-ish area. I want it to come down here. That's what I want to happen. Now, this level does also align with this, okay? Fibonacci's, there we go. So do you see here how from the swing low to the swing high, now that we've lost the golden Fibonacci zone here, it would open the door for a move not only to that previous low, which is right here, but a 1.272 fib extension. That goes down to $90,700. That means off of this micro move, our breakout target is also back right around here at 90,000. So that's what I'm hoping happens. I have very big buy orders open here, not gigantic. Guys, I hope you understand. If Bitcoin's price goes all the way back down to 82,000, my position size wouldn't have even increased by 15%. So I hope you understand. I'm not saying I'm doubling my Bitcoin position size, but because my Bitcoin position is so big, I can reinvest 10K or 40K or whatever as it goes down, and it's still only going to increase a couple, like 10, 15%, right? So it's all about the ratios. From a ratio perspective, I might down here buy 2% more, which doesn't seem like a lot, but over time it adds up. By 2% more there, maybe 4% more there, like 2% more there. Next thing you know, I've increased my position by 20%. In this pump here, when we get back to the same levels we're at now, my bag is 50% bigger, right? And so because of that, my strategy currently is to prepare and hope that we come down here. Ideally, we see this happen. This is ideal. I want to see this happen. Yes, I know the market will fall. I don't care. I want this to happen because this is going to be what opens the door for over the longer term now that this is a macro breakout, because that's what this is. We're no longer in little kid territory. This is when you put your big boy pants on. This is what's going to allow for the macro move upwards. So we need a more macro correction downwards. I don't want crypto to recover back above this now. If it does, we're probably going to send it upwards. Eventually, we will deal with this. I think because it's two bad outcomes. It's two bad outcomes. Okay. Option number one is that Bitcoin recovers back in here, recovers a good bit, hits golden zone up top, comes back down, and then crashes. I'd rather just get this shit over with now. We're already here. We're already pissed. Let it just drop. Who cares, right? Or outcome number two is that Bitcoin rockets up through this channel, heads up here, and then the end of the bull market starts approaching. I don't want the bull market to end yet. So I don't like either one of those outcomes. I want this bitch to go down. I want it to go a little bit further. Hit some of these macro levels. That's what I'm hoping for. It might look like this. We might see Bitcoin come back to back test this at any given moment now. So just be careful. But this is what I'm hoping for. And it feels like that's what we're going to get. I told you all at the beginning of the stream, this is what was the most likely. That the crash to the downside wasn't likely over yet. And that's what we're seeing. So with that in mind, I'm spot buying. That's that. Okay. So here we go. Let's rock and roll. Luke says, bro is coping so hard right now. I am coping incredibly hard with my total portfolio going down a little bit to open the door to go up a lot of bit. I am incredibly cope-worthy. Agreed. Anybody. All right. I am incredibly against doing this. The idea of selling now and buying later is one of the scariest that there is out there, because if you're wrong, you're going to be so pissed. You're going to be so pissed. You're going to be so pissed. Imagine you sell everything right now, it recovers and goes up to 140K. How mad would you be? Like, be honest with yourself. How mad? Because you were like, dude, I knew it, and the market just dumped a little bit, and I got scared, and I panic sold, and then it went up. I shouldn't have done that. I regret it. That is exactly how you're going to feel. It's exactly how you're going to feel. Maybe you're right, and it just keeps going down. Good for you. It's not what usually happens. It's not what usually happens. I'm not taking that gamble. Have fun with that. Or are you out of money if liquidated? I don't know what the beginning of that question was, but generally, yes. If you get liquidated, your trade is out of money. If you're on cross margin, your whole portfolio is fucked. But if you're on isolated margin, your margin that you put up for the trade is gone. How mad would I be if it went down to 50? I wouldn't be mad. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised for sure. I don't know if mad is the right answer. If Bitcoin goes down to 50,000, how would I feel? Concerned, caught off guard, but not super pissed because I've taken a good bit of profits. Most positions that I have now, all of my initial is gone. So I've taken all my initial out. It's only running on profit. So I wouldn't be that upset by it. I'd be like, damn, like I could have taken more. Like I feel like maybe I'd have regretted it a little bit. Like I wish I'd have sold a little more, but no, I wouldn't be super mad. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Do you think we're going to do some individual altcoin analysis in a few minutes here? XRP, Solana, all that stuff. I'm just taking a little second. I've been yapping for an hour. New to this, does the rise of Bitcoin also bring alts with it and just not as much as the altcoin season? So what would alt holders look for bad and good options? We'll go over that a little bit. I will tell you guys. It's time to lock in. You know, one thing that I always say during moments like these is like, it's time to really start doing some due diligence because you might be able to find some real good cryptos. Some real good cryptos at real good discounts. So it's time to really start focusing on your due diligence right now. PEPE is never going to hit $1 with this current supply. Can you explain to me liquidations happen whenever you use leverage trades or margin trades, which means you borrow money to trade and then you lose a certain amount, like it goes down or against your trade to a certain degree, in which the platform or exchange that you borrowed money against will take their money back so that they don't lose money, basically. For the most part. All right. Trade your Bitcoin for alts. I don't love that idea. Not yet. I don't love that idea yet, but it's not the worst idea ever if you are very long-term. Short-term, you're probably going to regret that a little bit, but long-term, not terrible. Hey, Tyler, I'm new to crypto. What do you think about it? I have a big SOL position with a small leverage and liquidation at 180. Now SOL is at 187. What would you do? Thank you. It's a rough position to be in. That's a very rough one to be in. Let me go look. That's a rough one to be in for sure. I can't figure out where my Solana. Oh, here we go. Solana just fell out the bottom side of a descending channel. It doesn't usually stay here. I may be wrong. Oh, I'm gonna regret saying this if I don't. All I'm gonna say, because I can't tell you what to do, is it's up to you, obviously. But in my brain, when I'm looking at Solana right now, it doesn't usually stay at the bottom side. You know what? Hold on. I would like to buy a little bit of Solana here. And that's kind of what I'm going to say. It doesn't usually stay here long. It doesn't usually sustain being at the bottom side of a move like this, especially, let me see, Bollinger Bands. Yeah, we're overextended there. 4-hour MACD nosedived. 4-hour RSI just hit oversold. I think there's a chance Solana does try to rebound here. I think there's a decent enough chance. I'm obviously not telling you what to do. At 180, I can't really give you advice there. I'll end up getting sued somehow, some way. But I'm personally going to buy a little bit of Solana right now. There we go. All right, I had the team buy a little Solana here at 188. I just like it. Like we were saying, let's do some individual analysis. Okay, let's do some individual analysis here. Okay. ICP. I'm probably going to end up buying basically everything. Let's see. Okay. ICP, 3-wave to the downside. Ooh, not super deep on that MACD. Pretty deep on that. ICP looking like it may have some more room to go to the downside. Not 1,000,000% sure. I'm not sure if this red zone is going to finish holding. If it doesn't, I think coming back to the gold zone is more likely. We do have that bottom side Fibonacci zone sitting right there. So for me, ICP, I'm not really going to do any buying quite yet because it just actually. So I'm going to actually just talk to the team a little bit. You guys can just listen as you'd like. Team, I would like you to pick up a little bit of ICP, but not a lot. Save a little bit of it. I think we may continue a little bit lower here, so I'd rather just save a little bit of that. Okay. Yes. So we'll do a little bit of buying on ICP right here, but not a ton, though. Not a ton. Jasmine. Jasmine coming back to back test right now. Looking pretty decent. Back testing the golden zone. I like buying into the golden zone. So we'll do a little tiny purchase of Jasmine, a little bit less than we did of ICP there. SHIB looking interesting to say the least, but a little concerning if you do ask me. Got rejected off the golden zone. Lost that bottom side Fibonacci there. Let's see. Possibility of coming back towards this is there, but not super likely in my opinion. Maybe a little bit further to go here with SHIB. So let's start getting the purchases in. Nothing huge though right now. Nothing huge. Just keep it light. Keep it light just in case. I think what's happening is that the altcoins are watching Bitcoin right now. And as Bitcoin starts pulling back, I feel like since Bitcoin would likely go a little bit further, that's also why our altcoins are in alignment to also go a little bit further. It's like they're pulling back, but they're not giving us the obvious sign that they're at macro support yet. So since there is a little bit of room between where we are now and where we could be going, I'd like the team to buy a little bit of these cryptos, but save a little bit of cash on the side just in case we do see this continue downwards a little. Okay. Yeah, anything I buy right now is only spot Bitcoin. Gabriel, you can come in. Okay. So, yeah, so let's do a little bit of buying there on SHIB. XRP. You're good. I'm just on a live stream. So, let's see. XRP is actually holding up really well. Bean, y'all go. So I'll go. Sorry, my dogs are in here. So, looking at something like XRP is looking pretty good. Obviously not the best, obviously, but it does feel to me as if XRP is giving the absolute best fight that it possibly can to backtest this descending channel. There is a risk that it isn't going to be able to maintain it, but I do like where we are with XRP right now. I like the support that we're seeing on the golden zone. I like the fact that we're backtesting that descending channel. This is enough for me to do a little bit of purchasing. Okay, this is a little bit of let's do a little bit bigger purchases on XRP than we did with SHIB and ICP and Jasmine for sure. Let's ratio. You guys know my ratios. Let's go a little bit higher than that. Let's go like 30% higher on XRP. And Patreon members, Discord community guys, I will have the team send me a recap, and I'll send you an update in the server on what I'm doing, guys. I will also remind you, I don't really talk about it on bearish days like today because obviously it costs money and I feel kind of weird about it. I do have a Patreon community. You can feel free to check it out if you want. It's the cost of a Netflix subscription or less. And there's a bunch of stuff in there. Obviously, insights with Tyler, which are the things that I'm buying and selling and giving some advice and thoughts about certain things. If you do want to go check those out, we have so much. I mean, I'm not going to go through all of it right now, but daily technical analysis reports. We have classes, exclusive workshops and classes. We have live streams. We have live trading sessions, deep dives on technical analysis, exclusive executive live streams, mini videos and series. We have so much stuff here, and the community's like, it's just going absolutely insane. Even on days like today, we're still seeing hundreds of percentages and gains. Feel free to check that out again down below. I feel weird about talking about it on days like today when the market's falling, but you're going to hear me talk to the Discord community a bit. So check that out if you want. Okay. Something I almost missed from PEPE. And if you are in the Discord community and you think that it's worth it and that it's worth joining, let them know in the chat. Let them know how you feel. You guys can speak for me. I'm not results speak for themselves. Let's just say that. Not liking what I'm seeing for PEPE. Going to be honest here, guys. Definitely not liking what I'm seeing here. Not a huge fan of the fact that we have now officially set the lower low. Not again the end of the world, right? There is an opportunity that PEPE's price is going to try to create something like this, where we're going to have like that descending wedge that we'll try to break out of. If I had to guess what's going to happen with PEPE, it is going to be that. So team, I do want you to do a little bit of buying on PEPE right now, but not a ton, just because again, I need to see that formula. I mean, that formation may not happen for a while. So let's do a little bit of a purchase here, expecting we're in like some sort of like the bottom half of some sort of more macro structure that'll look something like this. Let's do a little bit of purchases, but nothing too crazy for PEPE right now. Okay. Because we just set a macro lower low. I don't like to see that. Don't like to see that. Leverage trading right now is not a good idea in my opinion. Freaking Wi-Fi might be giving me a little bit of an issue. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what the last thing you guys heard me say. The last thing that I meant to say, though, was that Patreon community, feel free to go check it out if you want. Anyway, I can't remember where I was at. But yeah, with Pepe right now, do a tiny little purchase team, but nothing too crazy. Okay, nothing too crazy. SUI is sitting at the very bottom side of this descending channel. Not sure if it's going to hold or not, but I'm willing to take a bit of a gamble here. Willing to take a little bit of a gamble here. SUI should be getting pretty damn close to that golden zone to the bottom side as well. Two strong levels of support. We got the green box down here. We got the golden Fibonacci zone. I'm willing to go for it. Team, do the same size purchase that we did on XRP. I'm fine with that. Let's just kind of see what happens there. Yeah, we can go over pin in a second. Cool. I went over why this crash is happening earlier in today's stream and basically all of yesterday's stream for anybody who's interested. H bar looking beautiful, coming back down towards the bottom side. Green box absolutely in full effect right now. Really liking what I'm seeing there. Not sure if it's going to hold. Can't be 1,000,000% sure, but I have been seeing it respecting support levels a ton recently. So team, let's go ahead and do the same size purchase from XRP and SUI. Let's do the same thing on H bar now, ratio percentage wise. Same thing with XLM. I like the fact that we're in the bottom side of this descending channel. I like buying in these green boxes. Let's buy a little bit more XLM right now. ADA just did something wild. ADA, that sounded like the McDonald's theme song. But it's a bit of a hard one with ADA because I do want to do some purchasing, but we did just get the validation of a head and shoulders, and that's not good. That gives us a possible breakout target as low as 65 to 60 cents. So I'm going to skip on ADA right now. I may end up regretting that, to be honest, because I start to question whether or not we're creating some sort of macro structure like that. Do a tiny purchase, the same size purchase from like Jasmine ICP. Let's do a little purchase there as well. And remember, guys, I'm talking to my team who has control of one of my wallets that buys some stuff when I ask them to. I'm not telling you to buy any of this stuff. That is not what I'm saying. Please don't pull this video out of context. You guys just like to know what I'm doing, so we're going to do a live on stream. Solana, that's ugly. I don't like that. That's definitely not fun. But again, it doesn't usually stay here. I may be wrong. I'm willing to take a gamble. We're in DCA zone 3. Let's do a pretty sizable purchase here. Let's do the same size that we did for XRP on my portfolio. Bonk is also right around the bottom side of that descending channel, very similarly to the rest of them. Yeah, right around, roughly. A little bit under it, which could be a little concerning, and we did just lose a macro zone of support, so let's not do a huge purchase, but we are about to intersect these previous resistance points up here, so there should be some liquidity across both of these points. Let's do a little purchase of Bonk as well. Let's do some buying right there. Caspa getting absolutely shat on. Bottom side of the 786 zone. Not sure if it's going to hold, but willing to gamble on it a little bit. Throw a tiny amount at Caspa. Small, extra small purchase right now on that one. Doge, not loving what I'm seeing, but I am liking the reset that we're seeing here. This one's actually falling in line very good, though, on its MACD. RSI is at the lowest point that it's been in since back here at the bottom of this move, Let's do a little purchase on Doge. Let's do a small purchase on Doge there. Ethereum. Exactly as we figured. I told you guys in the last update I gave on ETH that if it lost the gold box, we'd head back towards the green to blue box, which is this right here. We're almost there. So because of that, I'm comfortable doing a purchase. Let's do a small to medium size purchase there, team. See, Render. Render looks freaking weird if you ask me. We have a good bit of liquidity still here. All these previous highs and lows. We got this little liquidity zone. Let's do a tiny purchase here. Nothing big. Let's do an extra small purchase on Render. AVAX. Not the best sign from AVAX here. Not a huge fan of the fact that we did just create that double top. I'm going to skip on AVAX now. I'm not interested right now. Ton is holding up decently well. Trying to hold that support. I think it lost the gold zone to the bottom side, though. No, it's at the very bottom of it. Let's do a tiny purchase on Ton. Let's do small purchase there. We are at the bottom side of this portfolio. Or what the hell? The Fibonacci resistance zone that is now flipped into a support zone. So we're at the bottom side of this support zone, and we're at the bottom side here, like I said, of this resistance zone flipped into support. So yeah, happy to do a small purchase on Ton coin. BNB. Not really interested. I want to skip this one today. I'm not really in the mood for that. Phantom, not quite at the golden zone, so not this is coinglass.com. I saw your question, Skylar. This is coinglass.com. This Phantom, yeah, Phantom's not quite at the golden zone. I'm going to pass on that one for now. Chainlink, in the golden zone right now and at the bottom side of the macro golden zone, I'm willing to take a bit of a gamble on this one. I'll do a tiny purchase here, just kind of see what happens. So basically, tiny to small purchases on everything. The only ones we did bigger purchases on were XRP, Solana, SUI, and HBAR, I think. And PEPE, maybe. Was it PEPE? No, it wasn't PEPE yet. But let's do it again. Yeah, decent size on that one. Jasmine, not very interested right now. And then Bitcoin, obviously, we are getting a little bit lower. Let's go into the next protocol on Bitcoin. Macro fib on that. Micro fib broke on that. So could be coming a little bit lower again. Yeah, back towards that 90 threshold. There's a chance we do get a bit of a bounce-ky-do here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do let's do another purchase there on Bitcoin. We did eat the wick on that 4-hour candle close, meaning we had this wick right here, came back up, we ate it, we came back down. So oftentimes that does entail possible continuation, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the risk. Let's do a little purchase of that as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing right now. I think this is true to some degree, but we have assessed what is happening fundamentally. We have also assessed what's happening from a technical fundamental perspective. And now we're just using the technicals in alignment with the more macro vision. You have to understand that Powell, I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole, but it's one of those situations where what we heard from Powell yesterday wasn't that bad. People tend to forget something. Are you guys fine if I go down a quick little, tangent about why I think inflation is going to be the reason crypto pumps? Let me know. I'll go down that for a second. You think yes, I believe we're still going to have a bull run for sure. 5x leverage on 8 around 1200. I'll get liquidated at 0.84. Oh, that's a rough one. Sorry to hear that. Okay, so this is my general thought process of why I think inflation is not a bad thing if you're a crypto investor. So I've been doing a lot of thinking recently as to how the hell we're going to see the U.S. government get out of this debt issue. The only way that I could foresee that the government can get out. I'm not an economist, guys, by the way. I didn't even graduate from college. Let me just put that out there. I'm just a dude who found success looking at charts and talking about lines. Let me just put that out there. This is just my theory. I have a bunch of weird fucking theories. My general belief here, though, is that the only way for the U.S. government to really be able to get out of this debt to some degree is by pushing that debt onto the everyday person. That's like the government's MO. The government benefits, the people are at detriment. That's just kind of how it happens. So my thought process was, okay, well, how do we see the government force this to be an us problem? The way that the government can force this to be an us problem is by printing money and causing inflation. How? Because the value of every dollar decreases the higher inflation goes. Inflation isn't particularly the thought process. It can be measured by prices going up, but inflation is more a result of the value of the dollar going down, in my brain, at least. Now, the reason that's important is because as the value of the dollar goes down, the difficulty to pay off the debt decreases. Because if I loan you $1 million today, right? Tomorrow, that $1 million is only worth $1. Hyperinflation, worst case scenario ever. How easy would it be for me to get $1 million to then pay you back something that's only worth $1? Very easy. So the easiest way to mitigate the debt is by forcing hyperinflation or some sort of inflation, which can be happened by printing money. When they print money, it goes right back into their pockets over a period of time. The longer that it goes, the more money they make from money printing. And then secondly, the detriment of money printing is inflation. Clearly, when inflation happens, the value of their debt decreases or the difficulty to pay out their debt decreases. Therefore, it's easier for the government to pay out their debt. Well, how does this impact crypto holders? What I've come to recognize is that in periods in which we see inflation going up, people are going to want to get out of that inflated thing. We've seen it recently. In 2020, it was a theory that people would go to Bitcoin as a result to get away from money or just fiat, right? It's no longer a theory. We saw people leaving fiat in order to go to crypto. Not a ton of people, but enough to validate the idea. And so if we are in a position in which people are going to be forced to pay the cost of the government's debt, I'm still talking about the US, by the way, the government's debt, the only way for the normal everyday person to get any sort of leg up in life ever is by investing in the assets. It's the only way, because if you just hold a savings account or money, you're going to lose. And so in order to be able to avoid losing, people will have to invest. And what is one of the things that they're going to invest in? Something that they think can save them from the dollar. What's that? Crypto. That's my theory. I don't know if that's a crazy theory, but that's my theory. And so in a moment like this, where we are seeing inflation coming back up and then printing, somewhat money printing, somewhat not, it's actually a good combination for things like crypto to do well over a long extended period of time. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. What do y'all think about that? All right. Lizard pill. That's what we're doing. We're going to do the lizard pill. All right. What are your thoughts? Stop yapping. Muhammad, welcome in, brother. You're pinned on the big screen. All right. This is getting ugly. Yeah, it is getting ugly. Where are we at right now? Let's see. Bitcoin at 95K, headed down. We're headed down to those levels. One thing that I will tell you, if you do watch Bitcoin as it goes down, Bitcoin's price is going to interact with these key levels of this previous points of support. So you guys know how, I'm Pablo Picasso today. All right. So let me think of an example. You know how trying to think of a good one. So let's say the market is in a descending channel. Okay, that's a good one. So we're going upwards, and something like Bitcoin creates a descending channel, and we break out of that descending channel. What I've come to realize is Bitcoin is going to run into major resistance points on those same resistance points that we ran into within the channel. So these are the levels where you're the most likely to get rejected. This applies the same way as in a situation like this. As Bitcoin's price goes lower, every time it hits one of these levels in which we built support on the bottom side of the channel, that's where we're going to try to see Bitcoin's price start to bounce. So my guess here is that as we get closer and closer to this first one right here, we're going to try to see maybe some sort of back test or something, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to sustain. But if you want to see levels in which we may see Bitcoin's price bounce, look back for these levels. These are going to be the first two that really tell you what's going to happen there. All right. Little word of advice. I'll just go cry now. What do you think I should buy Solana? What do you think should I buy Solana? Will it go up to 250? I do think Solana will eventually go to 250. Yes. Historically, Bitcoin is bad December prior to bull run. Why not relax and expect a 92K floor? That's not particularly true, I don't think. I'm pretty sure December has historically been a green month during the years of halvings. If I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong. No one knows the time frame. No one knows the time frame. Sold my cat last night buying more woof woof. Okay. Well, that is interesting. How much Cardano? What do you think XRP will be by the end of the day? Obviously, there's no way to know, guys. There's no way to know. I hope you understand that. It's holding well, though. XRP is holding well. It's giving a hell of a fight. This is such an NFW pullback. Remember I told you vulgar language inbound? You remember I told you there's the no fucking way pullbacks? This is what we're in right now. And I'm just looking at it. It's so obvious. And as we're going lower and lower, all I'm seeing is these Bitcoin liquidations going up and up. Look at this, dude. Look how crazy this is. Watch this. Watch that change. Get out. Here we go. All right, 30-day. Look at this. Look. We just got the flip. We just got the flip on the 30-day liquidations here from Binance, which is the one that is the most important. There are now officially more liquidations that will happen if this market goes up on the 30-day than down on the 30-day. The likelihood of this market continuing in the downward direction just decreased a lot. It's probably still going to continue to, because we do have more liquidations that will happen, but we have officially seen the flip, which is the one that I always look for as a signal to purchase more. So team, you're watching this, buy a little bit more Bitcoin right now. Double down on it. Don't care. Just buy a little bit more. I never go away from the strategy. The moment that there are more liquidations that will happen on every single time frame on the upside than the downside during a bull market, I purchase. The 1 day is nearly out of liquidations to the downside. The 7 day is nearly out of liquidations to the downside. The 30-day only has about $4,000 worth for Bitcoin to go down before being out of liquidations as well. Flip like that, I can't ignore it. Yeah, team, go ahead and go purchase a little bit more Bitcoin there. I need that in my life. Yeah, welcome to hell. It's kind of just what happens. I know you're new here and I know it sucks, but trust me, you will get desensitized and borderline schizophrenic in due time. Don't worry. No, 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 no. I don't think so. You're asking for my opinion, and I'm just giving you my opinion. I think leverage trading on short, I think short trading right now, risky freaking business. I'm definitely not going to. I don't bet against the market, and I definitely don't chase falling knives. No, 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 no. Hard pass on that. What's happening to ETH? It's just what it does. Just pulling back. We went over it already, though. It's hitting. Oh, it hit the zone. Okay, so you remember how I told you guys? I told you guys I think it was yesterday, which is crazy. I told you guys if we lost the golden zone, we're coming back to the green and blue box. That's where we just hit. So ETH is now hitting one of its short-term price targets, which means that some sort of bullish momentum could pick up off this level sometime soon. Pretty decent sign there. Actually, team, let's pick up a little bit more Ethereum now that we did hit that level. I think that's a decent spot buy there. Nothing crazy. Extra small purchase there. Tyler, do you think the market will start recovery this week, or you think going to slow recover before Christmas? Everything. What I need people to understand is that the only thing in crypto that you really can't predict is time. It's time, the timing of things. I can give you a percentage likelihood that something like Bitcoin breaks up or breaks down. I can give you 60%, 70% because that's based on history. The thing is, though, unless you are in a structure with an apex, a time almost impossible to give. It's actually almost impossible to give. There's just no way. The reason why I say if you're in a structure with an apex is because what you would need to see is this. We would have to have a definitive point in which it has to happen. So imagine if we're in a structure like this, right? And we're going up and down and up and down and up and down. You know, by this point, something has to happen or we're going to melt through it, which is an event in itself. Without a definitive apex, there is almost absolutely zero way to know how long it's going to take for something to happen. So just a little bit of insight there for you. Let's see. XRP. Everyone's stressed about XRP. XRP's price. We just went over it a little bit, but I'll go over it again. No worries. No worries, homies. So what you can see here, XRP's price in a very, very understandable situation, honestly. XRP's price broke to the upside of the descending channel, came up towards the Fibonacci golden zone, got rejected off of it, and is now trying to backtest the previous channel that we were in as resistance and trying to flip the golden zone into support, and is holding up quite well. At the time that this is happening, we're seeing the 4-hour RSI on a nosedive, as well as the 4-hour MACD on a nosedive, now back in bearish territory, and the bullets and the Bollinger Bands are now extended into the bottom side, which historically XRP doesn't sit in them for very long. So overall, I would start to expect XRP's price can get a short-term bounce sometime sooner than later. I would assume that we're very far past the 50% mark of this pullback for XRP, at least in the short term. Not going to count out the opportunity of some sort of ABC correction, though. All right, we went over PEPE already, homies. I said that like 60 times. I wonder what you said 60 times. If you haven't liked this, by the way, I know we're all a little bit stressed out, but if you could just drop a like on this live stream so more people see it. We're going to be wrapping up pretty soon here at an hour and a half. So, of course, if you guys could go ahead and just drop a quick like. If you did find today's information valuable, you can always let me know again by subscribing to the channel if you are new. Takes only 5 seconds to subscribe, but hopefully I can produce some content that helps you out for a much longer time than that. And then, of course, don't forget, again, I feel very weird kind of talking about it on a day like today, but if you do want to join, the community, guys, right now, we currently have 815 members in the community. You can sign up today and start talking with them and get on all these gains, because even on a day like today, we are still seeing people drop in on some pretty solid gainers. So feel free to go check that out down below if you do want to. Feel free to ask me a couple more questions. I got 5 more minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up today. You get liquidated at $1.78 for XRP. What should you do? We're at 221. I obviously don't know, but I would be willing to say that that's a ways away. That's a ways away. If I was in your situation, I wouldn't be too stressed right now. I wouldn't really get stressed until XRP loses 189. That's actually a point where I personally would stress a little bit. Exactly. That is the easiest way to explain it. Just thug it out. Simple as that. Well, it's so tomorrow's just a ceremonial. It's just sorry, not the ceremonial wedding. It is just the legal marriage. So we're gonna go get our certificate signed and we're gonna do all that good stuff. Our actual wedding's in March. So got some time. Don't worry. Do need to go get my haircut though. Let's see. Is it smart to stake SOL right now? Sure, why not? I did a pretty sizable purchase of H bar not too long ago. All right. I am not by any means in an open relationship. No. What do you think about a person should do if he had 35 US dollars and I lost it and wants some profit off of it? I'd probably just split that up into like $5 or $6 increments and just purchase a couple altcoins that are down a lot today. My portfolio is down bare right now. It is all good, homie. I feel that. Aiden, there's no need to spam. We saw your first 30 messages, brother. I don't really know much about it. I don't really look at it, to be honest. Love your look, bro. No homo. Shout out to you. Much appreciated. All homo. Anyway. RT Investor, CRV, what do you think? I haven't really looked at CRV very much. So I can't really give you a super valid opinion there. And also shout out to Shah 1987. Got 24 mil ACH, 65 to 8 cent price target. Will ASM run? I don't really know. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at ASM before. Just like CRV, I haven't looked at either one. So I do appreciate the super chats, of course, but I haven't looked at those. And I don't want to give you an uneducated opinion because that's a little bit of a weird thing to do. All right. I have Doge on. What coins are the best to invest in and ones you've shown in the show today? I think the ones that are the best, I mean, the ones that I did the biggest purchases in today were XRP, HBAR, XLM. I got to be missing one. XRP, HBAR, XLM. Shit. XLM, HBAR. Oh, and Solana. I bought a little Solana. So yeah, XLM, HBAR, XRP, and Solana. Those are the 4 I bought today. Let's see. Simple buying strategy. Invest at least $10 in each of this coin weekly or bi-weekly on payday. 1 XRP, 2 Solana, 3 Cardano, 4. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid one. Good job. Why do you think the older coins like Litecoin and AVAX haven't pumped yet, apart from the crash, obviously? It's just they're probably not very exciting. People aren't all that excited about them. They have to change something fundamentally for people to care, or they just won't care. Simple as that. Shout out to you. Appreciate it, Finesse. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the club. Of course, if you guys, anybody else did enjoy today's video, please do subscribe as well. We are going to be hanging it up in a second here. So, of course, let me know if you have any more questions. What kind of watch do you have on? I have a green. Let me see. I can show you on. I have a green Omega Aquaterra. Let's see if I can get that bad boy to focus. Maybe not. There you go. It's my favorite watch. It's a pretty sweet one. Thank you. Much appreciated. Do you got a TICS? What is that? I'm going to DCA ADA. I decided to pull through. Yep, shout out to you. Easiest way to track of crypto for taxes. There are a bunch of different softwares that you can use. I do actually know someone, Crypto Moses from the Discord community. He has a company that does that. Feel free to reach out to him. You bought it with crypto. Did I buy this one? Yeah, I did. I bought it in Atlanta. No. I bought it with stablecoin. I did buy. I have a watch in a safe somewhere that I bought in crypto. That was pretty cool. I do not play basketball. I am absolutely dog shit. You made a lot of people rich. Shout out to you. I appreciate that. The party ain't over. Damn it. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. I think $100 AVAX makes sense if they can change things fundamentally with their marketing and promotion. Is this a crash or correction because the SEC just posted that they might shut down? Fuck the SEC, dude. No one cares. Gummy bears, we are not in an open relationship, brother. Shout out to you, or sister. Shout out to you. Much appreciated on the $5 donation. Of course, I do appreciate it a ton. All right. Well, look, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much, Forza, for the kind words. Everyone, much appreciated. Look, I did tell you guys exactly if I was going to be buying things today, so feel free to go back. At the beginning of the stream, we also talked a little bit about what is going on, why I think the market's crashing, and much more. So, of course, if you guys did enjoy all that I asked from you, you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. All of you Discord members, those of you who are in the Patreon, I do have an announcement for you executive members. I have a little bit more content dropping for you today as well. I would like to go over a couple more things. Just stay tuned. Going to be getting a little bit busy as the day goes on here, so we should have some stuff going. If you do want to join the community yourself, you can check out that link down below. That leads you over to the Patreon. There's a couple options for you. If you're a beginner, I suggest general. If you're a little bit better than a beginner, I'd suggest premium. If you're super advanced, we have 7 slots left for the executive tier. There are now 53 people in here out of the 70 total slots. And once that closes, I'm not sure when the next one will open. So feel free to check that out if you do like. Of course, I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget again, one more time, to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Last thing, one more time, forgot. Sorry. If you do want to start trading a little bit of crypto today, although I am not leverage trading right now, if you do want to at least get an exchange account set up and stuff, you can use BTCC. That will give you a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits. This means that if you deposit $2,000, they'll give you $200 to start trading with today if you'd like to check that out. So feel free to go check all that out. Of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's quick stream, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.